was Miyazaki's Nausicaa, Valley of Wind, the formula for success. Having completed a few humanity evaluating films, I am interested in knowing if a specific formula exists. Most attempts to identify possible formulas that filmmakers use to create films are informal assessments. With Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, which was prior to Ghibli, the formula may have been set. Looking for consistencies in many areas can help determine if a formula exists. These are a few areas, but the list is unlimited depending on the films being reviewed. Because of this film was released prior to the formulation of Studio Ghibli and was successful, it has been incorporated into Studio Ghibli's success story. The story has been based on a manga series created by Miyazaki that was very long, but has been short. After working with Disney, Miyazaki got upset because of the English dubbing, renaming, and cutting of the film. Miyazaki insisted no more tactics in the future. Disney has honored his provisions. Directors tend to have their own style when developing a film. Miyazaki already had a basis for Nausicaa with the prior manga series. With the story already written, Miyazaki needed to condense the story to a screenplay, needed to use the Kyoshi Tensu style for his script. This style spends a lot of time of development of characters and allows space to grow. This style was used in planning for future films. Over time, Miyazaki changed his process of animation development. He uses his natural creative process to lead him out of his desire for originally and beautifully. He allows the process to create structure of a film and uses technique that enhances that story. In this visual representation of storyline formats next to each other, you can see the differences. For the Kainzu Tensu model, Kai is the introduction to the characters and the world, and Sho is the development of characters and how they progress. 10 is the turning point of the character's life, or the twist in the story. And Su, the conclusion of the story. In comparison to the Hollywood style, there is a ring action from the beginning, conflict, then art that is followed by falling action to end. Miyazaki's style now is to follow his own creative process and not a formal structure. This is a no-brainer. Who can argue animation isn't spectacular in every film, but in looking at this specific scene from Nausicaa, there are so many details, shapes, sizes, and colors that create the life of the fantasy world. Miyazaki and Studio Ghibli has committed to the philosophy of hand-drawn animation, but rarely use CGI for visual effects like smoke or water in scenes. Miyazaki, living in Japan and experiencing World War II, is well known. His stories originate from those experiences. Other influences often enter the stories like travels, mythology, or events. Although his storylines don't necessarily follow the Hollywood structure, the main character tends to take on the role of the protagonist. Nausicaa is a young princess who fights for a misunderstood toxic jungle of growth that can save the world. No real antagonist, but something that can block successful resolution. Although sometimes battle scenes, there is not conflict driving the story. That his characters had to be believable. He specifically used shoujo. Young characters are meant to be relatable to all ages. He wanted characters to be complex, going through a number of tough scenarios. Females are represented as strong and brave. Human connections are good, but not romantic. Diversity of characters, race, shape, and even has transformed from animals. There are a lot of messages found in the Miyazaki and Studio Ghibli animations. The messages seem to bridge what is presented in a fantasy film, realities of life. The display of youth demonstrate that kids can do and learn anything at a young age. The message in these animations help make complex subjects easier to understand. The film had a budget of $1 million and global gross earned of $14.3 million. Looking at Miyazaki's Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind told us a lot about who he formulates his stories.